Man, oh man, the finals, the game that has been universally loved, well, for the most part, by the majority of players and has been touted as a breath of fresh air to all of us that have spent the last 5 to 7 years about that, only playing battle royales. Why do we do that? I don't know, but I digress there a little bit. There are a multitude of things that this game does right, from class balancing, fun and chaotic firefights, making every tournament feel unique, and so on and so forth. And of course, it's not perfect by any means, and it does have a list of issues as well. But hey, again, I digress there because this isn't a pros and cons type of video. I wanted to address what I personally believe is the finals' biggest problem that can actually be a detriment to the game if it isn't addressed, okay? Well, Cray, what is it, you might ask? It's the solo queue experience. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that this is not a problem that is solely exclusive to the finals. There are many team-based games, especially in the shooter genre, that experience this issue, but I believe that the finals can be one of the first games to properly address it so that everybody can be happy when it's all said and done. Now, let me share my experience to paint a bit of a clearer picture as to what I'm referencing. I would say anywhere from 80 to 90% of the time, I find myself solo queuing for a multitude of reasons. This could be because my friends have full-time jobs or are occupied playing other games, which, hey, that's all good, right? I have tried to LFG before in the past, but could not find anybody that brought that certain type of vibe that I was looking for. Or if they did, we could not coordinate our schedules to be on at the same time, you know? But on top of that, I also ran into the issue of not having the opportunity to play for extended periods of time, and majority of players want to have that committed group that they can grind for those long periods of time. I personally am not granted that luxury because of the volatility of my full-time job, so it does end up being easier when it's all said and done for me to just solo queue when I have about an hour of time here and there in between work meetings or before winding down for bed. Being that this is a game that is mechanically built from the ground up around team play, coordinating with the other two players in your squad can be the difference maker in even the worst of teams prevailing and moving on to the next round. That becomes much more difficult when you are an individual playing against multiple 3 stacks that operate with the utmost cohesion, you know? And I cannot tell you how many times I am stuck facing enemy teams that may not be as skilled as I am personally, but put me down because my teammates are not communicating. And look, I'm not asking for you to be in voice chat. You can hit me up with pings nonstop. I'm fine with that, you know? But anyways, they're not communicating at all, and they try to retake one by one only to get vaporized. On the other hand, if there is that off chance that I am winning that 1v3 situation, like I got one dude out of the mix, another dude one shot, whatever, all it takes is for those quick comms to have the enemy opposition be able to sniff me out as I'm trying to regen health, reposition, or anything of that nature, and I get put down. So then I end up losing in the first round, but I have the most kills and sometimes the highest combat and support scores respectively in the entire lobby. Now, of course, the objective score leaves a lot to be desired because obviously I cannot play objective the way that I want to, but I digress there. Ultimately, that's the big problem that I am referencing, and I believe that if this is left unattended, it can drive away many casual players because I'm sure I am not alone with my solo queue experience. So, Cray, what is the solution, bruh? Great question. What I would suggest is not the end all be all, not by any means, but I believe it is worth an attempt, okay? That is team-based matchmaking. What is that? For the people that don't know, well, check this out. It is when the matchmaking algorithm takes into account the team size that you are queuing with. So if you are 3 stacking with friends, there is a greater chance you will be competing against other 3 stacks, okay? If you are solo queuing, then there is a good chance you will be playing with and against other people that are solo queuing as well. This would even out playing fields from a communication standpoint, well, hypothetically speaking, and it would give everybody an equal chance to piece together that funky coordination with players that you never have played with. Now, of course, there are variables like trying to find the balance between skill-based and team-based matchmaking, as well as making sure connection stays a priority as well. I'm not a developer, not by a long shot, so I have no idea what all has to be taken into account to bring something like this to fruition properly. I just know it is possible because a game called Destiny or Destiny 2 that I have played for the last decade has experimented on and off with this team-based matchmaking. They actually used to have a PvP option that you could queue in with when it was just only you and your party. It was called freelance, okay? This meant that all the other players that you were playing with and against were other solo queuers. And let me tell you, playing in that freelance playlist was totally different. It was a night day different, at least for myself, in comparison to when I played in the regular playlist against other stacks. Now, Destiny has since got rid of that freelance option, but they have completely integrated a team-based matchmaking system. It's not perfect by any means, but I believe it does a good job of smoothing out the playing field. Embark, listen to me here. I encourage you all to take a look at this and see how this could possibly be brought into the mix. It doesn't matter if I was the second coming of Shroud himself. In a game like this, the playing field needs to be leveled out for me and any other solo players to ever have a chance of succeeding and keeping us playing your game for a much longer period of time. But what do you all think? Am I bugging with this take, or is there some validity in my concern? Please let me know down in the comments below, and also let me know what your experience has been if you are another fellow solo queuer. It has been your boy Cray. I am signing out. Thank you all so much for coming and watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace!